On March 15th, the Earth was assaulted by a series of fireballs screaming in from outer space. The largest of these aimed for Chelyabinsk, Russia, where it exploded, breaking glass and injuring 1,500 people. There was no warning from the authorities. Fireballs have been on the increase ever since Planet X arrived in the inner solar system in 2003. There is no explanation from NASA for this increase. The Russians shot missiles at the bolide and hit it, though this was later denied to suppress rumors that Russia was under attack. One can see the missile tracks. Had the bolide landed in Chelyabinsk, the damage would have been greater. Coincidentally, a near-miss asteroid was passing behind the Earth, between the Earth and the Moon. NASA rushed to explain that the bolide assault was not related to this asteroid, which had been identified and tracked well ahead of time. NASA took pains to explain that the bolide came from the Sun and had no explanation for why it had not been identified as the passing asteroid had. Of course, this is where the debris-ridden tail of Planet X is swirling about, and to admit this debris would be to admit the existence and location of Planet X. And on March 15th, the cover-up was alive and well. How much of this debris is there, and will such onslaughts increase? The debris clusters on the edges of the moon swirl funnels, which are long tubes of swirling red dust, moons and debris that are attracted to and attached to Planet X. When the moon swirls are seen from the side, they are tubes, but when seen from the end, they're light orbs as sunlight bounces down the tubes, focusing and intensifying like light from a flashlight. Credits to the Poleshift Ning, which hosts photos by Alberto and others, taken behind floppy disk inserts or mylar filters to enhance light in the red light spectrum, which comes from the red iron oxide dust that shrouds Planet X and its many moons. Credits likewise to the Poleshift Ning for hosting analyses of these images by Polly and others, wherein the debris thrown to the periphery of the moon swirl tubes can be seen. Look at that clutter. Debris can be seen thrown by centrifugal force to the edges of the swirls, and can also be seen in the center of the swirls. Certainly in the last weeks, when the Earth and Planet X come within 14 million miles of each other, an onslaught of hail and debris can be expected. Per the Kolbrin, the face of the land was battered and devastated by a hail of stones, which smashed down all that stood in the path of the torrent. On the great night of the destroyer's wrath, when its terror was at its height, there was a hail of rocks. For the Zetas, we have just seen the start. Bolides will be screaming in spates at an ever-increasing pace until Planet X is done with us, and there is no defense against them. The Star Wars defense, envisioned by President Reagan, never progressed to any real defense against an onslaught of debris. This was started in 1983, the year Planet X was sighted by the infrared team from a balloon above the atmosphere. Star Wars was intended, per the Zetas, to shoot down the interloper planet, but they made no progress on that. And there is still no defense against debris. Meanwhile, the moon swirls and swirling debris between the Earth and Sun can be seen on SOHO images almost daily. Credits again to the Poleshift Ning, where such evidence is posted and discussed. These drifting tails are not meteors, nor are they pixel blips. They consistently show moon swirl tubes. and drifting tails. All very visible on Soho, and all very visible on Alberto's photos. Since Planet X is to the right of the Sun at about the 4 o'clock position when seen from the northern hemisphere, and is pointing its magnetic north pole toward the Earth, the tail blows under the Sun and then wraps around in a retrograde rotation to the left and then above the Sun.